folks, Joe Variety here. Today we're going to be talking about The Joker and how it got 11 Oscar nominations. Honestly, I haven't watched the Oscars in years. Haven't really cared about them since mid 2000s when it was clear that things were just way too political and they haven't changed. They haven't gotten better. They've probably gotten a little worse. But here we are. The Joker has the same number of nominations as Titanic and Avatar and a bunch of other films that I can't remember right now. Bearing all that in mind, I was curious why the Academy thought Joker was so worthy of Oscar nominations this year. Curious about the film. I hadn't seen it while it was in theater, so took a trip over to Redbox, and they really tried to give the Joker an origin story. That's what we got here. The man who said his origin story would be multiple choice if he had it his way gets it nailed down as Arthur Fleck, a 30 to 40 something man who lives with his mother. I was curious why the Academy would lavish the Joker with 11 Oscar nominations when they've paid so little attention to previous comic book films, some exceptions being Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker and the Black Panther film that came out 2 years ago. The film definitely has less of a comic book flair and more of a French cinema circa 1960s to 70s, where the goal is to make the audience as uncomfortable as possible. And it succeeds. There is almost nothing I like about this film.
The movie really strips the fun out of the Joker. I mean, it tries to drag it into the hard world of this 1970s taxi driver vision. The movie aesthetically is like if Darren Aronofsky directed Taxi Driver. But, oh my goodness. One of the reasons I had trouble taking this film seriously is it ratchets everything up to horror movie intensity. Every character that he encounters either has something cruel to say or wants to fight him. That doesn't strike me as terribly realistic. There's a scene pretty close to the beginning of the film where some kids steal a sign that he's spinning for, I don't know, Liberty Insurance or whatever, and he chases them. Why? There are so many of them, and all they do is beat the shit out of him. It's a small sign. It's probably costs like $2 to replace. It is not worth it. There are these moments of judgment characters make where you're just like, no, this is a bad idea. Every sign about this situation says to walk away. A social worker sees in his diary that he's written suicidal notes and does nothing about it. She makes no referrals. She makes no attempts to help him about this. She just asks him the same questions as she's asked him before. That drove me insane. Not literally, of course. The Joker has this condition. It's never established whether this is a real thing or not, and I'm too lazy to Wikipedia it. But he can't help but have nervous, uncontrollable laughter whenever some bad situation happens. I mean, man, the Joker's laugh is like his signature. And to make it this just sad thing that he has no agency over.
I understand that they're trying something new here with the Joker, but really there's only so far you can take certain characters before you've kind of destroyed who they were originally. The audience's intended assumption here is that Joker is not laughing at things he finds funny, but rather he is laughing because he is uncomfortable. This skewers a part of the Joker almost to the point where I don't recognize this as the Joker. It is like if Batman had the desire to punch people because otherwise he would see pictures of his dead parents in his mind. Or like in Batman vs. Superman, where Superman has no desire to help people and seems rather bored with it because it is something that is expected of him from other people. Thus we wind up with a Joker who seems incapable of telling a joke, bizarrely. We're thus left with nothing but a skewered, fractured, broken man with no Batman to counter his world-breaking anarchy narrative.
I was reminded of a bit from Megamind, fantastic movie, where Megamind is doing battle with another supervillain, and he says, "Oh, you're a villain, all right, just not a supervillain." And the other guy says, "What's the difference?" Presentation. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it this time around. The movie has this unreliable narrator aspect that just sucked me out of the story. I would just assume that most of the story was not happening, and more often than not, it wasn't. Um, this wasn't as big a deal in movies such as Fight Club, but that movie had a protagonist that I actually kind of found engaging and liked, and this movie does not. There is nothing about Arthur Fleck that draws me in. He's just, too weird, too anti-charismatic. There's nothing about him that I found engaging. He is the kind of guy you would cross two streets to avoid. I mean, he does, over the course of the movie, kind of develop this negative charisma. The narcissism, I guess it kind of comes out because he only sees people in terms of what they can do for him. But, man, I don't feel like this is the Joker. I don't feel like they got it right. It's too glum. It's such an unhappy movie, deeply unhappy movie. And I get why some people are resonating with this, but it's people that could use a message that pulls them to the opposite way of thinking. The movie seems to be making the argument that since society doesn't care about him, he can do whatever he wants. He can shoot three wealthy guys and it's fine. Everyone agrees with this, except the establishment. But like, one of those guys was clearly running away. They were not attacking him at this point. He had no reason to engage. He wanted to murder them. And I just worry that some people will take the wrong messages from this film. That it's okay to do those things. We already have plenty of that stuff happening already, and it creates a nightmare for everyone else. I get that society has let some people down, but the solution is not to let it all burn. I am losing my patience with origin stories for bad people. I don't need to know why they're doing bad things. So, will Joker win any Oscars? I don't know. I kind of hope not. I feel like there were a lot better films this year, and some of them didn't really get anything this time around, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. We'll find out. So that was my hot take on the Joker. I give it 2 stars out of 5. Please like and subscribe to Joe Variety and offer any comments on things you'd like to hear me talk about next. Always open to suggestions. Bye-bye.